So hello future officers, today we are going to today it is the 22nd day of 30 days mains answer writing challenge. So we are going to start today. If you are new to our channel, please do like, share and subscribe our channel. And now you can imagine ki what the topic we are going to read today is. So the question here is discuss the major causes and consequences of climate change. Suggest measures to address the challenge. So we have to basically mention three things. The first one is The first thing we have to mention in our answer writing is we have to mention major causes, its consequences and measures to address the challenge. है ना? So we have to address all these things in our answer writing regarding climate change. So basically our answer writing will be in three parts. First one is introduction, second one is body, and the third one is conclusion. Basically we are going to we have completed 21 lectures earlier, so you can also go and watch our earlier videos. That will definitely help you a lot in your mains examination. So when we talk about the introduction, so introduction basically we can write climate change refers to long term changes in temperature, rainfall and other climatic patterns. Okay, so these are long term things. When you talk about weather, it is short term changes, and the climate change refers to a long term changes. That is the main point you have to mention. So it is largely driven by increasing concentration of greenhouse gases due to human activities. As we know, greenhouse gases is very crucial, very harmful for our environment and all. मेरा थोड़ा सा तबीयत आज थोड़ा डाउन लग रहा है. So basically we can say कि due to increasing concentration of greenhouse gases by human activities, it has imaged a major environmental, economic and developmental challenge. So this is the introduction part of our answer writing, and now we have to move to the body part. That is, we have to mention all these three things. Earlier I have discussed. So let's get started. So major causes, when you talk about the causes, so what are the causes that lead to the climate change? The first one is burning of fossil fuels. No doubt, the coal, oil, natural gas, these things are used in generation of electricity. So generation of electricity, transport, industries, these are the things. Due to this, carbon dioxide is released, and that is the major cause of, we can say that is the major cause of greenhouse effect. Okay. Next one is deforestation. Loss of forest due to earth reduces the earth's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide. We have already discussed about the carbon sink. Forests are the carbon sink of the earth. So if deforestation is prominent in nowadays, as we know, deforestation is the most prominent in nowadays. So that leads to reduce the earth's capacity to absorb the carbon dioxide. Okay, hence next one is the industrialization. We know that industrialization की वजह से ही हम deforestation करते हैं. So industrial processes emit greenhouse gases, no doubt, and other pollutants also, that contributing to global warming. Okay, next one is agriculture and livestock, like rice cultivation. When we do livestock rice cultivation, सबसे पहला थिंग तो ये है कि उसमें these are water intensive crops, जिसमें वाटर का खपत बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. ठीक है, and excessive use of fertilizers are used that causes release of methane gas and nitrous oxide. Okay, and we know methane is a greenhouse gas. Next one is unsustainable consumption. That is, rapid urbanization, increasing energy demand and resource intensive lifestyle causes increase in emissions also. That's it. So these are the major causes. These are the major causes of climate change. First one is burning of fossil fuels. Second one is deforestation. Third one is industrialization. Fourth one is agriculture and livestock. And fifth one is unsustainable consumption. Now we have to move to the consequence part. What are these? So consequences, उसके क्या क्या परिणाम होते हैं. तो क्लाइमेट चेंज के क्या क्या परिणाम है. एक्सट्रीम वेदर इवेंट्स आर कॉज्ड, हीट वेव्स, flood, drought, cyclone. That we can normally say natural disaster, that is natural disaster, and intense rainfall are increasing risks to human societies, no doubt. Impact on agriculture, as we know, due to climate change, if monsoon is unpredictable, then the productivity will decrease, and that threaten food security also. When we talk about the water stress, stressing. Okay, so we have already discussed that due to change in monsoon, due to unpredictable monsoon or unpredictable climate changes, that causes changing precipitation and melting glacier can affect freshwater availability. Okay, and after melting glacier, if glacier melts, that ultimately leads to lead to rise the sea level, that threats coastal populations and ecosystem as well. Now the next one is biodiversity loss. So changing climatic conditions disturbs ecosystem and increase the risk of species extinction. For example, if a bacteria survives in 10 to 20 degrees Celsius temperature, and due to greenhouse effect, if temperature rises to 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, that can ultimately lead to extinction of that particular species. So biodiversity losses is also there. And when we talk about the health impacts, so heat waves are most prominent nowadays. So heat stress, vector borne disease, malnutrition, how it is there. So if climate changes, and that causes already, we have already discussed that due to climate change, it threats the food security. Okay, and due to this, unavailability of food is observed among the people. So due to this, the malnutrition is also there, and respiratory problems are also due to, as we know, this is already due to the greenhouse gases and all. So respiratory problems are also there. So how can we basically control these types of things, so climate change do not occur? So measures are, first one is clean energy transition. We have to move to the renewable resources like solar, wind, hydropower energy, and other low carbon energy sources, while reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Okay, so now recent oil crisis of State of Hormuz and Iran and US war, so that ultimately lead to threaten the energy demands. The first one is we have to take a transition from that fossil fuel, traditional sources of energy, to cleaner energy transition, that is renewable sources, that can ultimately reduce the dependence on fossil fuels. When we talk about the energy efficiency, promote energy efficient buildings, industries and transport. For example, earlier we are using so earlier we used to have CFL lamps in our home, but nowadays we have switched to LED lights. That is energy efficient and uses less energy. Afforestation and ecosystem restoration. Next one is afforestation and ecosystem restoration. If we plant more and more trees, that ultimately leads to that causes increase in the carbon sink area and the green cover of the earth. That ultimately leads to carbon sinks that protect forest, wetlands and other things. Climate resilient agriculture, we have to focus on that type of agriculture as well, so that we have to grow that type of crops that can easily be grown in drought areas. Okay, micro irrigation, like as we know ki rice is a water intensive crop. Okay, that requires a large amount of water in their cultivation. So if micro irrigation, if we have a technology like that can be grown by micro irrigation in a small amount of water, so that can be very helpful. Next one is crop diversification. If you talk about the crop diversification, that we do not rely on the that same part that on the some selected crops. We have to grow various types of crops. That leads to crop rotation as well. Crop rotation and nitrogen fixation also happens. First one, the next one is adaptation and disaster preparedness. Also, if we have done these types of things, so we have to prepare for the natural disaster as well. So strengthen early warning system, resilient infrastructure and disaster management mechanism will helps to counter the natural disaster. Next one is international cooperation. International cooperations, like we have already seen that various types of agreements like Paris agreements and the principle of common. Okay, so these types of things, these types of agreement focuses on these types of agreement focus on lowering the carbon emissions. We have also know about the European Union have imposed a new type of tax, that is carbon tax. Okay, so these types of things can be done to counter the climate change. Hence, first one is the clean energy transition, second one is energy efficiency, third one is deforestation, fourth one is climate resilient agriculture, fifth is adaptation and disaster preparedness, and the last one is international cooperation is also required. So the last part is conclusion. When we move to this part, climate change is not merely an environmental issue. Okay, it is a challenge to food. ये एक environmental challenge ही नहीं है, it is a challenge to food security. मैंने बताया आप लोगों को how it is challenging, how it challenge food security. We have already discussed public health also, public health, livelihoods and sustainable development as well. So we can easily say that climate change is not merely an environmental issue, it is a challenge to food security, public health, livelihoods and sustainable development. India therefore needs a balanced approach to combining mitigation, adaptation, technology, climate finance and international cooperation to achieve climate resilient development. So we have need a balanced approach that combining mitigation, adaptation, technology, climate finance and international cooperation. By this way we can only achieve climate resilient development. So I hope you liked our video. Actually मेरा तबीयत थोड़ा डाउन है और मैं एक नया इनिशिएटिव ले रहा हूँ कि मैं इंग्लिश में पढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. एक्चुअली मैं हिंदी में पढ़ाता था पहले, बट फ्रॉम टुडे ऑनवर्ड आई हैव टेकन इनिशिएटिव टू. मेरा इंग्लिश थोड़ा वीक है बट कोई बात नहीं, वो पढ़ाने से होता है, करने से होता है. हिंदी में नहीं करा था तब तक मैं पढ़ा सकता था, लेकिन मैं कुछ अपने अंदर कुछ नया चेंज लाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. दैट वाई आई हैव स्टार्टेड taking lectures in English also. So I hope you liked our video and my effort also. So if you like our video, just subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video to your friends also. That will be very helpful for their mains exams as well. So bye bye, take care, Jai Hind.